Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I would like to start appreciating all the medias who are here, my fellow Somali Americans, my fellow African immigrants, and our partners, Sister Mary Spence. The purpose of this press conference today is twofold. One is to ask Senator Jeff Hayden to apologize for the unfounded characterization of Isuroon, engage in through policy discussion about how to best address health disparities that affect Somalis in Minnesota, especially his constituents. For example, we have every 33 Somali kids, one of them have been diagnosed in autism. Somali women also have reproductive health challenges. One of example is because of the female genital cutting and the need for a specific reproductive health that are culturally specific. The infant mortality rate of our community is growing as well as the poverty of the community. We also want to view our financial record to confirm that our history of excellence of resource stewardship. For members of the community and the media to have their questions heard, addressed regarding Senator Hayden's remarks. March 28th, on the Senate committee hearing, Senator Hayden asks what makes Isuroon the right organization to address health care needs of the Somali population. On behalf of the board, our staff, and our allies, I have to say, Isuroon, we are who we serve. Our nonprofit grew out of Twin Cities Somali community. It's led by the very women we serve. Listening drives our priorities in meetings, collaboration with organizations of faith, community-based participatory research, and face-to-face conversations. We have also earned our reputations of trust by empowering Somali women to improve their lives. We also empower women. Isuroon is a grassroots organization working for the health and social connections of Somali women and girls so that they and their families can thrive in Minnesota and globally. We cultivate trust and acknowledge through community-based participatory research, personal contact of weekly reconciliation meetings, support groups tied to the faith community, and face-to-face conversations. We also engage policymakers, bipartisan, both Democrat and Republican, through the community needs and opportunities for outward mobility. Regarding our finances, Senator Hayden had claimed that Isuroon had no capacity to do any work. The unfortunate thing is Senator Hayden really knows who we are. Lots of pictures, a lot of interactions shows that actually he met our Somali community, most of them his constituencies, late last year. We had about 85 of them that actually, specifically we made appointment for him, and half of the kids, Somalis were there, elders were there, new refugees, moms who had as young babies as 2 years old. So the idea that he doesn't really know us, it's kind of unfounded. Our books right now, Isuroon, we have about $500,000, and we have 9 staff. Our trajectory to grow is growing. Isuroon is going to grow. We have more allies and more funders that we've ever imagined. Our funders also trust us. They know that we only accept resources that will uplift our community. In other words, Isuroon only accept hand up, not hand down. So I would like to welcome right now, before I welcome, I want to make sure that I conclude and define what capacity is, because Senator Hayden kept saying capacity, capacity. How we define capacity in Isuroon's world is really the biggest capacity we possess is in our hearts. We love what we do, and we do and collect many, many deeds every day for the community we serve. We get a lot of God bless you. We got a lot of prayers and blessings from the community we serve, multiplied by 100 times per day and per week and per month. That is the biggest motivator for us, not how much dollars we get, not how many rings we kiss to receive few dollars. We just love to serve. this message is for Senator Hayden. We would love to serve. His comments on the Senate committee was unfounded, was also very dangerous for the existence of Isuroon, our staff, and the community we serve. We're hoping that Senator Hayden apologizes to us, and then we can have a productive conversation. Right now, I would like to give a few moments on Abdallah Katima, who's going to introduce himself.
My name is Abdullah Kiyatamba. I am the Executive Director of the African Immigrant Services based in Brooklyn Park, predominantly West African community. And I'm here to stand not only with Isuroon, but the work they do in our community. They have been an inspiring women group that have revived hope in the aspirations of immigrants to solve their own problems, and that we are expert on our lives. And when these organizations, day in and day out, are empowering women, inspiring our community, showing amazing leadership, we do not break them down. We do not beat them down. We do not discredit them. We do not stigmatize them. We encourage them. We support them. And from this coming from one of our brothers, we are heartbroken and we are extremely disappointed. We asked him to retract his statement, and because he's not only talking about Isuroon, but all of our communities, all of our African immigrant community, all of our communities of color. If one of our sisters is inspiring, we want our daughters and sisters to see an example, a model of leadership. We don't want them to be pulled down, dragged down, and beat down just to make a point on this floor. We think this is disappointing. We asked him, it is possible, we think he made a mistake, and it is a grievous mistake. We asked him to retract his statement and to apologize to our sister. But let it be clear, we stand with our sister, we stand with our work, we stand with the leadership of Isuroon, the women that support our community to stand with her, and we just let her say thank you. We ask our community, the broader community, to stand with us to stop this. We will not stand for this. This is wrong. This is unacceptable. Thank you.
Jaylani Hussein, the Executive Director of Council of American Islamic Relations, CARE, Minnesota. I'm here today to support the good work of Isuroon that has been doing. This is a community that has been underfunded for a long time. And now today we have organizations like Isuroon who are taking on a tremendous challenge of addressing many of the most critical issues regarding health and family support and women's support. And it's unfortunate that today we have a senior senator who criticized in a manner that is not supportive to this community, not supportive to this organization. And it shows that we have a long way to go because this community has been struggling. And every time we show up to this Capitol, every time we ask for much needed support, we are pushed to the side. We are defaced to a certain extent. And I think it's a critical moment right now, not only for this senator, but for also the entire body to support our community in addressing the most important challenges that we are. And Isuroon is an organization that's addressing some of the most critical issues. Among those issues, which we are learning today, is about immunization and health issues, educating women, educating our communities. When we have to battle two battles, one of addressing the issues at hand on the ground, but also at the same time battling the same individuals who should be supporting this organization and lining up behind this organization. It's unfortunate, but I believe in the work that they're doing, and I believe we will continue to do the work regardless of who criticizes this organization. But I think Senator Hayden has a responsibility at this moment to take back his comments, but also to show with not only words but in action, the support that this community needs from him.
So before I open questions, and I know we have what we did. This event, this incident that Senator Hayden did happened March 28th. It took us this long to really even get organized because what we did, we showed the video, we transcribed the video, and we translate it into Somali because when we serve elders, we also serve Somali women, we also have a young generation that are coming up. Each audience, we have to show the video very carefully so then they can make up their own mind. Our team, all we did was just cut the video because it was part of 3.5 hours and show to the community, because that's how we make decisions. That's how we listen and take actions. And all the reactions I got from some of the elders who have been here many times, and last time we even met Senator Hayden, most of them said, he's one of us. I can't believe he's doing this. The second thing that a younger generation said was, we just don't know what's going on. And most of the moms who are struggling with our staff, there's brand new refugee programs that we have. There are many, many challenges that our community faces, but we're incredibly hopeful in making sure that our community helps. So in different audiences, from the younger, the older, the young generation, and our allies, everyone had agreed that what Senator Hayden did was uncalled for. And it's very damageable to our reputation, to our core of who we are. So with that said, we're hoping that, as everyone else said, which I do appreciate your support, that he has to recount his comment and question our capacity. And the definition of capacity, as I defined, is not just spending so much time courting and trying to win over as a legislator or someone who, I don't know what's going on, but in the meantime, we just make sure that to have a productive conversation, he needs to apologize. And with that, I'll let media ask questions, and that's about it.
What happens if he does not take back his comments? He does not apologize?
Based on our, we consulted a law firm that works with us, and they said they can take him to court, but based on a community feedback, and they said we rather not go that direction. Because our community have been underwater based on stereotypes, based on other challenges that the community had faced. Senator Hayden, what he did at the floor when he was talking, he actually mentioned the daycare issues and correlated with that with Isuroon. That was really one of the biggest challenges that we've been. So legislators don't know us. Some of them know. We have a brand new House and Senate. So if they don't know us, then there's no reason for them to fund us. So we want to work with him, but if it doesn't, then we have to go back and listen both the community and our attorneys. But we'd rather not go there if we can help it.
You really have a case, and Jaylani, you mentioned it too. Just even right now, when you're talking about some of the stories that we were talking about last week with the female genital mutilation and also with the measles outbreak in your community. You really are impacted by this, certainly always, but certainly right now.
I think the state, there's been a number of initiatives to identify that the state has continuously to fail to support minorities in the state, including the African American community, which the Somali community fall within, and traditionally minority communities. And so when we ask for funding, it means that we are trying to address real critical issues, and when we don't get the funding is one thing, but when we criticize and to destabilize efforts that have been standing for a long time, it also shows that we have a lot of work ahead of us. But this community is resilient, and we're going to continue to knock on doors. Senator Hayden's not the only senator in this place, so I would say that if he's not going to support this community, we are a community that votes, and we are a community that shows up on election day, let alone caucus night. So we are part of this community. We will show up to this House. We will continue to do that, and we'll fight for the dollars that I think our community deserves to address the issues that are important to all of us.
With that, I think I can't help it because my background is public health. Our state always ranks top 10. Actually, we're on top 5 right now, but we also rank at the bottom 3 or 5 when it comes to, I think, minority, including the immigrants and African Americans and natives. So what is shocking to me, and actually most of the professionals and in the community, is what Isuroon has been doing is that we don't fit the RFP or the granting way of doing things because we know it doesn't work. We do it just telling the top of our 25th floor, telling you minorities, this is what's good for you, and trying to bandage it. it doesn't work. It never worked. That's why Isuroon doesn't really fit in any category. We're kind of a unique group that we want to do the things the right way, and sometimes there is a political cultures, there is a power dynamic that you have to fall in line, and we cannot fall in line to any power dynamics. Our goal is to do the work. Whoever is going to support us is going to support us. Criticize us. If you really came, if Senator Hayden came and say, look, I have concerns, show me your books. I have concerns, what are you doing? He had never showed up. We engaged him, we tried, and he didn't. So right now, as an organization, 501c3, as an ED, I'm required to work with both parties. We're not going to be beholden to any specific party because our community may be voted in a certain way. So there are a lot of undiscussed conversations behind the scene that has happened, but we want to make sure the focus is that we have to address this health inequity, the health disparity, and the measles outbreak that's happened just right now. The female genital cutting, we have a high C-section rate. We have a lot of child developmental issues. That's the conversation that our team, the young public health professionals who work with Isuroon, and our consultants, and myself and the community, that's what we want to talk about it, not infights and scoring points. We're not interested. But we had to come here today and really with a long time, almost 20 days, to really say, Senator Hayden, you may be a powerful senator, maybe you have more power than we have, depending on how you define power. But he crossed the line. And just $100,000 to destroy an organization that is doing great work is really very disheartening. I want us to have the conversation. What can we do? What can we do for the community? And what can the community can do for themselves? That's the conversation we wanted to have. So if there's no other questions, thank you. So, do you have?
I have one last question. Is
Yep.
there anybody here who could comment on just has gone to the organization to get help with any particular thing, or anyone that would want to share any story like that? If there's anybody here.
I mean, all of our staff are here. Hayden, do you want to speak about the refuge program that you do?
Sure.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. My name is Hayden, and I work with newly arrived refugees. And we have a lot of success stories, but one of my favorites is working with a mother who had a history of female genital cutting, and she was having problems with labor, and she didn't know what to do. So we received a call from the hospital, and just using different techniques and exercise and just being there, speaking her language and going through explaining everything to her and being there for her caused her to have a healthy baby, and we actually avoided C-section. So there are great stories. There are people who are looking forward to becoming the greater good and being a part of America. But then when you have someone who looks like you, who actually are not supportive of your agenda. And the other thing that was really surprised me is we had other senators from other districts who were supporting us, but then our own senator from our own district was not supportive of us, was kind of disappointing. And I hope that changes. Thank you.
So with that, I know we're about to go, but thank you so much. If you have any questions, any clarifications, please talk to us, and we do appreciate you coming. Thank you.